I noticed online that it's Norm's Guitar's 50th anniversary,
Is
and
it?
I know that Andertons is on year number 61 now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good research.
Well, I have known Andertons for a while. 15 years. By the way, everybody, it's 15 years since Lee and I started shooting videos as of May the 18th.
Which is mad, right? Because relatively speaking, I feel I was actually quite old when we started. And now I'm like, even
now
almost
now
decrepit
we're old.
now. Yeah.
There's a lot of beard clinging to my face. But I was just thinking, so Andertons has made it to 61. Norm's is 50. But then at the same time, some legacy stores, I mean, for example, in the UK, PMT, GAC, going down. So what do you think is it that makes the difference between a store that really survives, thrives, grows, and a store that doesn't? Because I don't think we could say that PMT or GAC were not well known. What do you think is it? What's the magic sauce?
So many different reasons why. If you just take, the business is changing in, why did Sam Ash go bust? Why did PMT go bust? All that kind of stuff. So many different reasons. In a nutshell, I think the most successful retailers do a really great job of predicting and very quickly adapting to changing consumer habits. And I think most retailers who go bust, particularly ones that have been around for a few years, you can go, yeah, they got it really right 15 years ago, and then thought, oh, that's how you do it then. And they don't change. So the really successful retailers in any form of retail, ultimately we're here to try to deliver what a customer wants. So if you can't stay on top of what does the customer want, and what the customer wants changes every single year and will have done for the whole 61 years that Andertons has been around. So very conscious about going, just because you got it right one year doesn't mean you'll get it right the next year. So there's that. If you look at consumer behavior, 100% now, consumers are bombarded with information in a way that they've have never been in the past. So the access to information is incredible now, and obviously AI is going to make it even more insane. Or yeah, I was going to say that the validity of the information you're being served up might be called into question, but there's bucket loads of it, right? So customers are they're almost overwhelmed now. So they're choosing the things that they really care about when they want to buy something. So I think if you take guitars, really people are going, oh my God, there's so much information. There's like 1,000 different brands and 1,000,000 different models and da-da-da. So they're literally just going, well, what does my favorite guitar player play? They play that, who's my favorite, or my favorite influencer, what does he play, she play? And then I think they kind of pretty much decided what they want to buy before they even engage with the retailer. And the retailer is there just to maybe reassure that it's a good decision or not a bad decision, to reassure them that if there's a problem with it, it'll get sorted out. But I don't really feel, in a way, that when I first started selling guitars, and we were really a part of what was the choice you were going to make. Like, hello, Mr. Guitar Storekeeper, I'm interested in buying another guitar. I've got £300. What do you think I should buy? That never happens anymore. It's just literally, you just get, oh, hi, can I try the XYZ because I'm interested in buying it? Yeah, no problem. So I think what's happened now is, what then happens is the really big brands, the Fenders and the Gibsons and the blah, do a much better job because they've got all the marketing money to make sure that they're the brand that's in the focus of the customer's mind. And then the really big retailers do a great job of making sure that they've got that stock and the best offer of that stock. So I guess what's happening is that the sort of the building blocks is the customers the customer is now the number of brands that are sort of in that customer's consciousness is consolidating into the brands that have got the most marketing money. The retailers are consolidating into the retailer that's just got the best offer on the day for the product you've already decided that you want to buy. And everybody on the periphery of that, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Whatever. It is going, wow, this is tough. And so you've really, really got to try and find your angle and your reason for being, because you're just going to get squeezed out of that mainstream.
Yeah.
So if you're in if you're a brand of like Chapman guitars or whatever, you've got to find a really compelling angle to be different. And if you're a small retailer, you've got to find the same. You've got to find your compelling angle to be different. And that's why I think lots of small retailers are turning towards secondhand gear or repairs or whatever, because they can be good and they can be different there.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing as well, if you take the Gap and the PMT thing, and again, I'm slightly hesitant to sort of go down this path, because I know there was some amazing staff in both of those businesses trying to do their best. But I don't think it's a coincidence that about 4 or 5 years ago, both of those businesses were sold by their founders to private equity companies. And if the guy if the person, the guy or the girl, the family or whatever at the top are the founders, and it's their blood, sweat and tears that have gone into building that business, they will, in my opinion, they will try much harder to save that business when things get tough than if it's a private equity company that go, well, I've got 300 companies in my portfolio, and that one's been a bit difficult for the last 3 years. Can we just get rid of that one? Yeah, okay.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And I think, I mean, you are proof of this. You know, I mean, you know, you and your dad or the original crew 61 years ago, you know, I remember looking at the photographs at the very first introduction of Andertons videos that we made, thinking, wow, I bet they only had like 3 guitar brands. And but you know, obviously Andertons has had hard times as well, but as a family brand, you do everything, and sometimes the decisions are not always financial, they're brand building. And probably you're right, I didn't know that about Gap. That's kind of
again, I don't want to, you could equally, the founder of Sweetwater sold to private equity about 2 years ago, and from what I hear about that, that's just going from strength to strength. So you know, clearly it's not a recipe for disaster to choose to go down that route. But
the decisions they'll make with an equity company in charge will always be financial, because that's the remit.
I think it's easier to walk away. Like if it's your if that's 20 years or 50 years of your family, you know, you're so invested to not let it fail. Whereas I suppose with private equity, you're right, it's a financial, if financially the right decision is to walk away and just wind it up.